Okay, so this is video 2 in a series for the turn and burn machine. In the first video, we looked at the burn machine itself, and we have added the guards now on the burn machine. So the burn machine's 100% complete. We currently do not have propane hooked up. Propane tanks are here, we've burned. That's not been any kind of an issue. But I do want to show that the burn machine is all complete. The HMIs on both ends are all up and operational. What we want to demonstrate at this point is the actual turn mechanisms. We're not burning, so we're just going to run this through one side and back again the other side. The turn machines, or the turn stations themselves, have been designed with a cutout right here and right here. The objective is, or the thought process is, when you have a heavy timber, you're going to load it in with a forklift, set it down, and this gives clearance for both ends of the fork so that the forklift's not going to give you a big enough space that the forklift's not going to crash into the machine. We have here, we've just put together a stack of 2x6s. Basically, this is now a 6x8. And what we're going to show is that we'll run this through the machine. Again, we're not going to burn because we've been running this back and forth, and that's just going to make things messy. And a couple of things you want to see. One is that we operate everything off of the HMI here. We do this off of, we're going timber work. We're not doing mill work. We showed mill work before. And what we're going to do is, and this happens each time when you run the machine, the board starts over here, the timber, in some orientation. Either it's tall or it's flat. Either way, doesn't matter. We have a conveyor speed here that we can change. On timbers, I'm thinking you're probably going to run 15, 16. We're going to run it at 16.8. That's 16.8 linear feet per minute. The first thing we're going to do, and again, normally this would be burning, so we would have fire. Right now we have no fire, we have no tanks involved. And we're going to send it to the right. And when we do, the conveyor down here, this conveyor is going to operate, the conveyor on the burn machine is going to operate, and the conveyor on the exit is going to operate. One thing I will note is, for our purposes, because we have a short length, we don't have the ability to do 32-foot lengths. 16 foot's the max. As you can see, it's hanging out the door of our building here. So normally, the free conveyor, which that big piece of timber is sitting on, would be in this position in between. And that would be so that you can run standard mill work, 12, 16 foot long, run it through the machine this way, take it off on the other side. Timbers, expectation is you don't have forklift access down there. You'll start it here, it'll go through, it'll get rotated, it'll come back out to here, and you'll take it off from here. Probably same side, same forklift. Minimizes your floor space. So back to here, we've gone to no fire. We're going to send it right, and when we send it right, it starts to move, chain driven. This conveyor is moving as well. Chain driven, all the rollers are rolling throughout. It's moving down at 16.8 linear feet per minute. We'll walk down to this end here. This display is showing the same thing. If we go to that screen, timber work tab, it says it's moving right. It's not burning, it's just moving on through. You should be able to see it coming out right about now. There it is. And this station is identical to the other station. It just is designated as rotate number 2, or output rotator in this case. And as I said, this is 16 foot long. So right about, that's the sensor right here is the sensor that we're using to determine the length, right there. Comes all the way to the end. Okay, so this actually, these are two 8-footers put together. That's close enough to center for my book. Okay, again, same setup here, forklift space. The entire unit, one of the things we didn't show is the entire unit is chain driven off of a gear motor over here. And that chain is all enclosed with these chain guards both sides. So now that we have it on this side, presumably it would have been burned on that side, and we want to rotate it to bring it back. We will rotate the output turner. So you might want to get over to here, so we just, so I'm hitting rotate output burner, and our carriage moves over to the side to know where it is, because we're not sure how big our timber is. This could have been a 16. It's got a sensor right here. So this will move up to 90 degrees. Stops at 90, moves over, senses the board and stops. The bottom comes up, a lock comes in place. It starts to rotate. As it rotates, it lifts it off of the rollers. Now it's measuring for width. It rotates, comes back again, measures the other side for width. So it knows where the one side was, now it knows where this side is. Comes to the middle, sets it down in the middle. Our burner just came down because it was initially adjusted for the 8-inch height. Now it's adjusted for the 5.5-inch height. So that was something we missed it because you were looking on the side over there just fine. When we send it back to the other way, again, now the burners are down, so they're at the correct height to give us a good burn on this side. So we're assuming we have a burn on this side. We're going to be burned on that side as we go back. Now as we look, the same screen on both HMIs, but one operator. I input it over there. I watch it come out over here. Everything looks copacetic. I hit send left. The conveyor powers up, starts to run it through. Again, at the same speed, we can increase or decrease. We cannot change the speed once it's moving. That is because we're using these sensors to determine the length of the board, and they work off of a time distance thing. So we can't change the time, which would be the speed during that operation. So we're about halfway into it now. We come out on this side. And when we get down to this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to rotate it. And now that we've seen how the actual rotate mechanism works, as it comes to the vertical, we'll watch to see that the burners themselves raise. Coming down to the end. Sensor right here is measuring shuts down. All right, so again, approximately centered. One of the things on our imitation board here is we stacked it up and we have a couple of holes in here. So part of that small difference is because we had a hole there and momentarily that sensor says, oh, no board there, but there was. Okay, so we're gonna rotate it again. And again, it's exactly the same as what we did on the other end. We're gonna hit rotate the input turner, because that's what we call this one. And as we do, you'll see the carriage move and shuttle and all, and then ultimately we'll watch the burners raise and lower. Or in this case, they should raise. So the panel comes up. Moves over, senses the board, picks up the other side, locks it in place, starts to rotate, measures the left-hand side, rotates it some more, measure the right-hand side, calculates the difference between the two, puts it on center, and the burner should go right about now. It didn't go really far. And that's it. That's the whole operation. Goes back to the home position, which is something, we'll do that too. Let's gonna rotate this again. Start to rotate it. And halfway into the rotate, I'm gonna hit the E-stop. I'm going to let it get all the way into it. Something's wrong. Something happened over here. The board fell off, something, I don't know. So, when we hit the E-stop, just like with the burn machine before, it goes through a shutdown because typically the burner would be on, but we give it a countdown of 30 seconds. Normally that would be purging air and cooling. We can pull this, but we're still gonna wait for the countdown. Won't let me do anything. Now it's stopped blinking. I can go to recovery. And in recovery, if I go to the input conveyor, there's a button down here. I can move any one of these functions independently. Really don't want you to do that. What we want you to do is jog to the home position. And it sets it down, pushes it over to the side to make sure that there's enough room. And centers the carriage. So now it's all set to go for another operation. And one of the things we should do is we're going to put this offset just a little bit. I mean, obviously you want your operator, you want to pull that one in just there. You want your forklift operator to be, fairly accurate to how he puts the board down. But if he doesn't, it's not that big a deal. Go to the timber work. We're going to rotate the input turner. So it's going to go through its thing. This is part of the reason why it comes over to the side like this. We don't know the exact position that the timber's going to be in. We don't know how big the timber's going to be. So if it's a really large timber and it's off slightly, it may take all that space in order to make it operate. So we come over, that one stops when it sees it. This one stops when it sees it. And lift it up. They move it forward, and when they do, this one stops as soon as it sees the edge. That one keeps going. Now it's straightened, the timber. It's all nice and even. It comes back down, measures the other side. Calculates the center and puts the timber down in the center of the conveyor, and it goes back to home. That guy went down. Did you see that? Okay. That guy went down, and we're back to where we started. So that's pretty much, did I forget anything? We stopped while this was operating. Next video will be, we want to bring in the big timber. We'll bring in the big timber. That's going to take us a little while to reset, but so this ends video number 2. I don't think we need to do anything else on here.